On many levels, 3 is the magic number.
Well, an open letter from Frank Cultural Boys. I hope I pronounced his name well.
You have pronounced it very well.
Okay.
Beautiful English name.
Thank you. And in that letter he said that 3 persons is the perfect size for a band. Do you agree with him?
On many levels, 3 is the magic number. I think De La Salle said that. Yes, it works in terms of power exchange, which is one of the things we are obviously concerned with, isn't it?
Power exchange?
Yes. 3 people can make a decision, whereas 4, that's hard.
Why is that?
Well, you might get an equality,
okay.
and then, you know, democracy could break out, and then you'd be in all kinds of trouble, you know, artistically.
So, I Am Kloot is more of a dictatorship, maybe.
A benign dictatorship that we pass between us sometimes. Okay. It's a benign dictatorship with each of us being the dictator in turn, once one of us becomes very tired.
Okay. Yeah. I Am Kloot. It's you're around for 10 years now, and in the 10 years, what does Sky at Night tell about that 10 years, the past 10 years?
I don't know if it says so much about us as people in the band, other than that we were able to play.
We can't sleep.
We can't sleep very much, and we can play very easily together. I don't know if it says much about that, specifically the album. Apart from perhaps there's something at peace, but still working away in the night, in the mind, which is kind of very us.
What do you mean with being at peace?
Well, we're at peace as in we're used to each other. So we know what we can do and cannot do to each other.
How much has that changed in the past 10 years?
It goes up and down. As soon as, in fact, as I was saying that, as soon as we are at peace, yeah, then something may happen to bring that to an end. Or not to an end, but certainly some friction may occur. And sometimes at times of high friction, it's followed by times of serenity.
You get to know each other after 10 years, don't you? It's not many relationships last that long, really.
Certainly none of mine.
Yeah, but how important is it for a band to play so long together? Is there, in what way, is it a mirror of the music?
Well, I never really wanted to. I had a band when I was in my teens, and I've been writing songs for a very long time, and I was never keen on being in a band, to be honest, because my songs seemed to get distorted. But playing with Andy and Pete the first time we did play together was about 11 years ago. Pete and I were friends before that, for a few years before we played music together. And I think the 3 of us imbue my songs with some drama and effect, and we understand space, and we did do from the very first time we ever rehearsed in Pete's cellar. We understood space in music, and we understood that the song needs to breathe and find its own life. And to play that without being too egotistical and let the song breathe is a bit of a trick. You have to be driven as a musician to do that.
Why wasn't that possible before? Or why?
Because people they want to play music. They want to be in bands. They want to be rock stars or something. Mm-hmm. They're not really into it.
What's the difference between being really into it on maybe the level you are and someone that is pursuing maybe fame with his music?
You'd have to ask them.
Okay.
Sound very. Listen, I'm not. You know, not trying to say there's an us and them situation here at all. I'm not at all. Yeah, we've always felt as musicians, and over time we've become very good friends. But firstly, as like people are into this kind of music, you know, have a shared will about it.
And you learn from each other as well. It's a constant learning thing. You know, I think if you're in a relationship or any kind of thing for that long, you've got to be good friends. Oh, you don't have to be. There's a lot of good bands that hate each other, isn't there? But luckily for us, I think we're good friends. But it's constantly learning. I mean, I personally got to learn a lot about playing, because I've played with John and Andy. I think the same way, we've all played in bands before, but just played for the hell of it without you listen to yourself more than you listen to the song, or you listen to yourself more than you listen to anybody else in the band. And when you see a band that are doing that, you get that feeling that it's a bit more selfish individually than it is looking at the whole thing that you want to kind of perceive over, and you've got to kind of agree what that is. Not that I don't suppose we ever talked about it, we just naturally agreed. So there wasn't a great deal of discussion in anything that we did, it was all quite easy.
No, it's only when we do interviews that it even gets brought up, actually.
Yeah.